I'm going to show you how to make the bow that you're seeing in these pictures. I have this bow in another video, a demonstration of it, and a few people were asking for a how-to video on how to make it. So, since I have an order from a customer for one like this, I'll show you how I'm building it as it goes. These are all the parts you're going to need, at least most of the parts. All this pipe is Schedule 40 PVC pipe. These are two pieces of 26-inch long 3/4 inch pipe and two 3-inch long 1-inch pipe pieces. These are two clamp pin fastener things. Not sure exactly what they're called, but I got them at a hardware store. They're like a pin that latches closed. I think they're 2.5 inches long. This is 1-inch wood dowel, 10 inches long. 1-inch pipe, 10 inches long. And a 16-inch piece of 1.25 and a 16-inch piece of 1.5 pipe. This is another thing we're going to need. It's a limb for pressing the molds into the right shape in. I'm not going to show you how to make it in this video, but maybe I'll make a video eventually showing how to make it. It's just a 4x4 that I cut the shape, like a side view of the shape of the limb into it, and I made these two limbs and as practice ones and laid them in there on the sides to act as guiding rails to keep the limb straight and get the thickness right, and you'll need two of those clamps to press the limb with. This is just a propane heater. We're going to use this to heat the pipe and soften it. You can use a lot of things. Backyard Borer usually uses a heat gun, I think, and he's shown a couple other methods. Just heat it up until it gets soft and floppy. It might take a few minutes. Don't burn it. Then lay it into the mold and press it with the clamps. You should be able to figure out how to make the mold pretty easily if you try to. And on my mold, the limb sticks out of the front a little bit, so I have to press it like this until it solidifies. Take it out of the mold once it's been in there for a little while and you think it's hard. It's cooled off. Don't do anything to speed up the cooling process, because people who have tried that say that it makes the PVC brittle, like putting cold water on it or something. That's bad. This is another step of the process for molding the limbs. It's just pressing the base in between two boards like that. The boards are about 3/4 of an inch apart. They're held apart by a piece of plastic or whatever you want to put down in there, wrapped with tape to keep them parallel and same distance apart. I marked 4 inches up from the base of the limb and heated it up to a little bit below that point, and I push it into the mold up to the 4-inch point. It doesn't need to get extremely soft. There I just did that really quickly to show you that you heat it up. That's not enough heating it up, but it needs to be heated up to where you can squish it with your hand, but it doesn't need to be all the way floppy. And make sure when you put it in that it's rotated straight. You can see it presses it into kind of a rectangle, flattens it a little bit. Oval or rectangle. Oval with a couple flat sides, I guess. This is one of the 3-inch long 1-inch pipe pieces. I'm going to put some hot glue inside of it. And I'm just going to heat it up and slip it onto the base of the limb after the limb is pressed. should go on pretty easily if you get it hot enough. And a lot of hot glue might come out of the end, like extra glue. Just wipe that off while it's hot because it's easier than waiting until it cools off and trying to cut it off. There probably will be some that you still have to cut or sand off, but get most of it. And then press this down with your hand. Use a glove like I'm using. Make sure it's all the way on the limb. This is just to reinforce the base of it, where it's going to slide into the riser. After that, cut the end of the limb like this to form kind of a cone shape, I guess. This is for looks and aerodynamics at the end of the limb. Heat it up and put some hot glue inside. The hot glue is mainly just a gap filler, because it'll look a lot better if there's not a gap there, but it also will make the end of the limb a little stronger to be glued together. So you end up with something that looks about like that. Then just sand it so all the edges are rounded and smooth. It looks nice and even, and file in the knocks like you see on the one to the left / top. Make sure you get it all nice and smooth. I don't think I really need to show you how to do that step. Just sand it and file in the knocks. I mean, it takes some finesse, but it's not complicated in any way. That's the end of part 1. Put a link here to part